Matisse Pigeon Chest from Ash B.
That wasn't a super chat.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Just a jab. You know, I got the live chat right here. I got a live. I'm looking at the live chat.
But when Matty's here, you know that.
And then these guys are reading stuff that
I get you, don't I?
Defamation of character. Not even a super chat. It's crazy.
Matty would go into Wembley, says Tendy item. None. I appreciate you read people's comments even when they don't pay you. This is the kind of guy I am. This guy only reads out super chats.
I just don't read out slander of the guests. That's all it is, you know.
I wouldn't call that a slander. We can get that up as well if you want. By the way, rest in peace to John Motson, OBE as well. By the way, incredible legend in the game. Has been going for 55 odd years. I've actually got a bit of a John Motson story. I tweeted it the other day, but he used to be friends with my mum. They met at an event in the 80s or whatever, and he was doing a book signing, and I went. And I got my book signed by him, ended up getting his number. I said, I'm about to go to uni to study journalism. Can I interview you? And he said, yeah, no worries. So I had his number at a point, and I interviewed him like twice. This is the kind of guy he was. He just wanted people to do well.
Yeah.
But then after a few drinks one night, unfortunately at university, I must have slipped that I had his number. And then I was peer pressured into making a 3 a.m. prank call, pretending to be Michael Owen. Yeah, going, you're right, John? And he's going, who's this? And I was like, it's Michael Owen. And I said, you don't mind just running through that commentary again of that goal against Argentina in '98, please? That'd be great, really. And he went, what? And then just hung up, basically. So I'm sorry, John, but rest in peace, because you're a legend. You're a top guy. But yeah, maybe it was...
amazing, that story.
Yeah. Right, we also saw this week Jamie Carragher saying that Rashford is on course to pip Haaland for the player of the season. First of all, do you agree? And second of all, if not them, who? But also, what do you think makes the criteria for being in amongst the conversation of being that player of the year?
I think the golden boot is there for the best goal scorer.
Definitely.
I think the best player needs to be the best player, as in footballer. That's my opinion.
So it's quite easy to give it.
Yeah, it's just otherwise because it's very easy to
out.
just give it to the guy that's going to score the most goals, you know, who's going to break records. But are we going to dig a bit deeper? Non-penalty goals. Yeah. How many goals is he really? You know what I mean. End of moves. Yeah, break it down a bit. Like just say that he's got the most goals, and just to give him the best player of the year when he's going to get the golden boot anyway, which is what you give to strikers who get goals. I think it's a little bit lazy.
I think with the player of the year, the way you look at it is, as you said, you've got the golden boot, but for me it's pound for pound who makes the biggest difference to pushing their team as high as possible. So if your team wins the league but you were the biggest needle mover in that team to win in the league, you're in place. If you're someone who your team was predicted for relegation, like a Ward Prowse for me is someone who I would consider. An Odegaard is also someone I would consider. Does that make sense? Like they're two different ends of the spectrum, but pound for pound what they're doing for their team and the carry job, if you like, for me it's almost like that's how I like to look at it in terms of player of the year. Who has done single-handedly the most for their team?
Contributions in it. Contributions to
I
winning
think
points.
Saka's
Goalkeepers should be in the shout as well. Really, do you know what I mean? The amount of clean sheets, defenders. It shouldn't, like you said, shouldn't just be like, oh, he scored 20 goals. There you go.
But I think the problem is when you're looking at that, what's the easiest metric to always measure by? Goals, assists, and goals, people are like, games, that he's got that contribution. Whereas with defenders and goalkeepers, is always a little bit harder to read. But yeah.
Someone in the comments here, Channel Enzyme, saying Rashford was missing pre-World Cup though. Put Saka in the conversation. Toast DC, Jamie Carragher is a clown. Big up to you. Buzz Football saying it should be the player who's had the biggest contribution to his team, and the team's results matter on that contribution. And Stelios P says really simple. If United win the league, it's Rashford. If City win the league, it's Haaland. If Arsenal win the league, it's Odegaard, Saka.
I don't like that. I don't like that. If your team wins the league, it's default your player, if that makes sense. I get it if they were the biggest impactor, but then also sometimes like the Arsenal team, can you definitively say it's Odegaard who's the biggest? Is it not Saka? We were just saying 2 minutes ago. Saliba and Gabriel at the back, have they not made a big difference? Partey, we say every time he misses, Arsenal don't win. So who is the biggest needle mover? That's why sometimes I say that is more of like a team cohesive thing I look at, but then you've got to find the one that pushes it. And I always say, listen, this year it's a little bit harder, I would say, for sure. But I do think Rashford is kind of the starting to, especially with Haaland over the last couple of weeks, just having tailed off forms and goals-wise, if he does break the record, it does become a harder argument, because if you've made history, is that not the biggest case to say?
No, listen, I agree. Let's not forget that Gareth Bale won the Player of the Year when Spurs finished 5th in 2012-13.
Well, these are things like even,
Twice.
like, for example, if Newcastle managed to scrape in 4th or even 5th, and Bruno Guimaraes' numbers were massive.
Facts.
There you go. Like, well, Bruno's carried Newcastle in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So that kind, or Botman, or
I was just about to say,
you know. So it should be a bit more than that. Just like, who won the league? Who scored the most goals? There you go.
It's too easy that way. Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like last year that's almost what they did with like the Young Player of the Year. Like with Foden got it because
Yeah,
City
it
won
wasn't
the title,
Foden.
and it was like, bro, Saka, I'll be honest with you, was clearly the best Young Player of the Year, but they went Foden. I'm like, that's when you do a disservice. Even KDB when he won Player of the Year, it was a bit like, was he really the Player of the Year?
It's lazy.
Yeah, 100%. It's almost lazy award giving.
I feel like it's a very
Popularity
European
contest.
thing to do as well. I feel like year on year Ronaldo would win it, Messi would win it. Obviously those two are massive exceptions,
Freaks.
but I'd say like the highest goal scorers in the top 5 leagues in Europe normally win it. Where that's right or wrong is different. We've got Beam here saying unpopular opinion, Harry Kane has had a better season than Haaland so far. Tendi Item saying Mane should have won the Player of the Season last year, in my opinion. Why is the Liverpool guy in City colours? Saying dark by design.
That one's been really
Hey, I didn't even pick up on that, you know.
Lazio of anything.
Alex is in his fashion
Get down the
bag.
shop for once.
He's in his fashion bag.
Get on this. I know a Scouse lad from Walton in Liverpool, which is like Scouse, and he supports United with a Scouse accent.
How? How does he do that?
Bro, when he told me, I was just, you know that face, like
Problems for himself,
De Niro
really, as well,
face,
isn't
where
it?
you go,
What's the matter with
what's the matter with you? What are you playing at? Couldn't believe it. It's rude, if anything.
I don't know how he managed to survive.
Well, yeah, he's paying me, so I went.
It's a man of
Oh
goal
my
scorer.
goodness me!
and
There's been a
Kvisha.
goal at the King Power Stadium. It's been a tight game so far. Matty Renton, who scored the goal?
Leandro Trossard scores a goal. We mentioned he big start for him today, and he's put Arsenal 1-0 up at Leicester.
Wow,
Just
what
about
an
to say,
occasion!
that was a corner that
Edge
was
of the
whipped in,
box.
clear at the edge of the
Boom.
box.
Oh,
It's saucy.
what a strike from Leandro Trossard. Celebration,
Fair
little
enough.
knee slide, Premier League proven. The goal has been disallowed.
Ooh, hold that!
The goal has been disallowed.
Back here, Ward on.
What's happening? I'm sorry, where is
That's
the foul?
not a foul for
That's
me.
not a foul.
I'm
What on
sorry,
earth
where
is
is the
that?
foul?
No way. How can that be a
I'm
foul?
sorry, where is
actually a Leicester
Nah,
player, that.
goalkeepers are flapping and being given.
Anything.
That's a horrendous
Face
decision.
has pushed his own keeper.
It's not a foul.
That's a terrible
That is
decision.
nasty.
Absolutely terrible.
Well done, ref.
Arsenal fans are going to be fuming.
Arsenal fans in the mud here in the comments.
I've
There's
tried
been
to-
a goal. Finally, so sorry to cut
Eventually.
you off, Fuad, but Matty Renton, tell us what has happened at the very start of the second half at the King Power.
Arsenal got off to a flyer. Gabriel Martinelli in the 46th minute has put Arsenal in the lead. Great finish, actually. Bottom corner. He went
He's
down
injured.
injured.
Looks bad though as well, that one.
Will this one actually stand as well, though?
Ooh.
We had all the drama in the first half.
Is that a knee injury?
But
Less
Arsenal,
than a minute into the second half.
Arsenal can't even celebrate yet. All the players are consoling Martinelli. He's in pain. Xhaka is calling for a stretcher.
Doesn't look good for the young kid.
I think he might have overextended on
Equivalent of putting your body on the line for your football club.
But he has scored the goal. And again, less than a minute after the second half, head in hands. It looks like it's his right knee that's the problem.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, that's
The way he's
that could
holding
be a
his
nasty
face,
one,
he's
that.
done.
That'd
That
be a
could be.
long term.
Just sign that deal as well. Typical that.
Let's have a look at the replay of the goal here.
Look how deep they're playing there, Leicester.
Isn't it? Look,
Get
it's
up.
not even deep. It's one clown centre back. Who is that?
Clown.
Is that Sutar?
Is it FaZe?
I think it's Sutar.
Your boy.
How is that our boy? No,
Yeah,
FaZe-
it's your
FaZe
boy
is our
because
boy.
you was trying to gas him up
FaZe is
pre-game.
their boy.
Oh, right. Yeah, number 15, Sutar.
FaZe, man.
Bro, that's too deep.
Bro, you...
Could have easily played him offside.
And the worst
there.
thing is, when you're not the quickest of centre-backs, why would you want to almost
It's a
set
good
up
finish
a 1v1?
though. Ooh, what happened to his knee
What
there?
happened to his knee, though?
Great ball
I don't even
here
know if I
around the
wanna
corner
watch
from
this.
Trossard. Oh, the
It's a
nutmeg.
delightful assist by
have a
Trossard
look.
through the.
I'm too blind to really catch.
Apparently, Ronaldo scored a hat-trick.
I refuse to give it airtime. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't do that.
His
Is it-
career
is it a
ended.
real
for me.
Don't do that.
His career
You
ended.
respect greatness.
Is it a real
His
hat-trick?
career ended for me after he left Manchester United. That's it. It's over.
Spoken like a true
For the first time.
Okay out there. We could have scored a couple
Goal
goals.
in the Premier League.
And it's Danny Ings for West Ham in a massive game at home to Forest. You know what? Just when Ollie Watkins scored a minute ago, I was going to say him and Ings didn't really get it off. But now they're at separate teams. And it's his first
Too
goal
similar,
for
aren't
West Ham, I believe. They are.
Yeah,
Too similar. It didn't work.
Same player.
Yeah, they're same player. It didn't work. I think it was meant to be competition, but nah.
But that is his first goal for his third claret and blue team that he's played for. Plug into
Another
Premier
goal
League.
for West Ham.
They're
Just
flying.
like that.
Like London buses, you wait for one, and then they both turn up at the same time an hour later.
And it's looking like
Who's
it
it gone
could
to,
be
Jeff?
a brace for Danny Ings, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Chris Kamara, what's happened? I don't
Get
know.
your fingers out.
I mean, I saw him walk off,
It is
but
2-0.
I thought he was getting subbed.
He's coming back.
I don't know, Jeff.
That's redemptive.
That was
Full time
that
at the King
was-
Power. Arsenal have wrapped it up there with 3 points. 1-0 win.
Arsenal fans absolutely bouncing after that result.
We'll get him next
4-0
time.
win
We'll get
for
him
West
next
Ham
time.
as well. Full time at West Ham. 4-0 win over Forest.
Result, that one.
you not
One more
seen
for
these-
you before we round it off.
I've got one
This
more.
XG.
Go on.
Stuart Pearce.
Yeah? Had him
Penalties
down on
against
the list.
Germany where he missed one and
96
Yeah.
scores for England against
comes
Spain.
back, has the balls to take the penalty, puts it in.
Lionel Messi.
Oh, God.
4 Copa America defeats, finals, retires from international football. I know you hate Messi. You call him a
Facts.
jumped up hormone.
Speak on it.
producing
Alex,
whatever.
speak on it. Leave
Have
this
some
guy.
Respect.
Leave
How
this
dare
hater.
you snore right now. You're coming like my dog. That's what Gus does.
Sorry. You say
You
something?
didn't like that one then, no? Right. Cheers,
You're
man.
such a hater, man. Such a Ronaldo stan. Listen,
No, I mean,
I'm a
he
Messi
hates
guy.
Messi, bro.
Feed me more.
4 Copa America defeats. In the interview after the last defeat, he said, "I'm retiring. This
Exactly.
losing stuff is not for me."
Yes.
Julian Alvarez writes him a letter to say, "Come back, bro. We need you." He didn't even
Need
know
you.
him from Adam at this stage. Then wins the World Cup with him, and they've also won Finalissima as well with him. So that's 3.
They made up a trophy.
Yeah, they basically did, which didn't exist before. But there you go.
We know you can't win. We'll make one up for you.
Listen, he's got a Copa America and he's got a World Cup.
Any more
Hold
quick one before we wrap.
Don't forget, this Sunday at 9 o'clock, join DR Sports for the big fight. It's Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. Who do you think is going to win, Laurie?
I'm leaning towards Jake Paul.
Jake Paul?
I'm leaning towards
Ooh,
it. Only
Jake
because,
Paul beating
only,
the-
only because it's a Jake Paul promotion.
Join us this week and you will find out who is going to win. 9 o'clock here on DR Sports, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury.